Hey future millionaire and budget babes, it's your girl Kerri and welcome to my money tree. Here we learn to master our money through completing budgeting, savings challenges, cash stuffing envelopes, and having motivational money chats. So if this sounds like a vibe to you, please hit that subscribe button, join the family, and let's grow together. So today we're going to reset for the month of October. We're going to review my goals for the month and the different tasks that I need to take to help me achieve those goals. And we're also going to complete our October monthly budget overview and chat about overcoming self-sabotage. I am starting something new this month, which is my monthly goals, and I believe it will be very beneficial for myself to keep track of this. So I'll show you real quick. This is a little financial planner that I created on Canva. I just printed all of these sheets out myself, and I had a leftover sketchbook that one of my kids were not using. I know Five Below sells them for $5. So these are 8 by 10 papers. And it's 13 pages long. So I will show you, this will be on my Etsy shop if anyone's interested in purchasing it. So it starts off with our monthly goals, and then we just circle what month it's for, the goal, and then the tasks that we need to take to achieve that goal. Our bill trackers. So when you are first beginning budgeting, you have to have all of your finances laid out, everything for the whole year that you pay, because some bills are annual payments, some are semi-annual, and most are monthly. So we'll fill this all in, and this will be my guide for when I'm completing every budget, every monthly budget and every pay period budget. I'll just take a look at this monthly bill tracker, and that's how I'll know what I need to fill in there. And then we have our expense trackers. It's the same thing. Then we have our debt payment tracker. So we just write the month in here, January, February, March, whatever month you want to start out with. The debt, whether it's Visa, student loan, MasterCard, car loan, whatever your debt is, you write it along the top. What that beginning balance is for the debt, and then the payment that would be due, say, January. And then you just go all through the bottom until you get to the ending balance. Now you can print out as many as you need for this, whether it be 1 page, 3 pages, that just show all of your debt. And then we have our monthly calendar, which I'm going to fill in all of my paydays here. And now this is not included in my Etsy packet. This was actually a bundle from the dollar store, I believe. And then we have our estimated monthly overview. So I am on a variable income and I am paid bi-weekly. So for me, having an estimated monthly income is more realistic than just budgeting what my paycheck is, because I don't know what my paycheck will be. So this will be our monthly overview. And then we have our paycheck budget. So I am paid bi-weekly, and this will be the month of October, and this is the first paycheck. So we'll circle all them, and then I'll just fill all this information in. And then this is my daily expense tracker. So to stay on course with my budget, so I just write the date, what it was, the amount, whether it was paid cash or card, and then the category. Was it, again, beauty supplies, kids, household supplies? So whatever your cash stuffing envelopes, the categories for them are, then that's what this category would be. And then at the end of the pay period, I'll go in and I'll highlight each one, so it just makes it easier when I add it all up to make sure that my numbers were accurate as far as what I allocated versus what I actually spent. Then we have, so that's my daily spending tracker. Then this would be the my second pay period paycheck budget, and that's the expense tracker for that. And then this would be the actual monthly overview. So at the end of the month when we do our budget closeout, we check in on it and we close it out. This will be where we write what our income was, what we estimated or allocated, what the actual amount was, and if there's any leftover. We check to make sure all of our bills were paid, and then if so, you check that off. We go through our debt. Was all of our debt paid? And then we will update our debt tracker, which was this little guy. And then our variable expenses, we'll go in and we'll check all that for each pay period. So I only have 2, so I'll use these first two columns. So the category again would be beauty, children, home supplies, and then what we allocated, what the actual amount was for the first pay period, for the second pay period, and then the difference. And then we'll know if there's any rollover or if we actually went over budget. And that is all. And then you just rinse and repeat for every month. And then you start over again. So let's start with my monthly goals. Sorry if you guys hear a lot of noise in the background. My whole family's home and they're downstairs playing, so it's probably loud. I'm sorry. This will be for the month of October. So these goals will be both personal and for my financial goals, just because in order to achieve my financial goals, my personal life affects that as well. So first is having an organized and clean space. So clean and organized space or home. Now, of course, I'm stating the obvious, but I do have 3 children. I have 3 dogs and a cat, and things can get out of hand very quickly. I work a lot, and then between working, running my business, homeschooling, the time that I have to be able to dedicate to cleaning is at a bare minimum, and it's not something that I like. So I want to create a chore list and assign different tasks for my children and everyone in the household to complete so that it helps the home run more smoothly. So in order to achieve my goal of a clean and organized space, the task is set up a board system so that everyone is held accountable.
To hold everyone accountable.
The second goal is meal prepping. So I want to be able to meal prep and eat more meals at home because I spend more than I would like on fast food, and it's not something that I like to do. But again, with time being limited, it is easier to just order out, and I want to get out of that. So in order to be able to have more home-cooked meals, I need to create weekly meal plans, and a shopping list so that I can be intentional when I go to the store and buy exactly what I need. And then this way, when I have everything written down, it's easier for me in the morning to just throw all the ingredients in a crock pot or prep on Sunday if it's if it's a meal I'm able to prep for. But it will just make it easier knowing what I'm going to be cooking and making sure I have all the ingredients. And the last personal goal that I have for this month is having more rest or a better sleeping schedule. And then again, this may sound pretty basic and simple, but I find that I'm going to bed super late and I'm waking up super early, and I'm not at my 100% capacity during the days, which again makes all these other tasks harder because I'm not running on an optimal energy. I need to make it a priority to be able to go to sleep at a certain time, at a reasonable time, and know when to rest, because my mind just never stops. So create a schedule, create schedules, and stick to them. So I do have a schedule. It's just we're not sticking to it, and that's where the problem is coming in. So create a schedule and stick to it. So now a goal for my finances is organize my new business setup.
So organize the business setup.
So I am in the early stages of starting a business, and I don't have, and there's many things that need to be done in order to keep the ball rolling, whether it be getting my registered agent for the business emails, website setup, business phone numbers, bank accounts, and having a space where all my documents are organized. So I like my list so that I know what needs to be done and I can check it off. So again, for my business setup, I need to create a list and then execute. And now for my content creation, I would like to be at least 1 week ahead of my content schedule. So for that, I would need to create a content calendar that outlines the content that I'm going to be filming, and I would like to also have it filmed and edited. So the goal is 1 week ahead of content creation. So the task would be to outline, film, and edit at least one video before it's due. And then my last goal for the month is to grow my Etsy shop. And in order to do that, I need to be consistent, adding new designs, adding and uploading, I should say, at least 10 designs a week. I think that's a realistic number. Okay, so that's my goals, and then at the end of the month, we'll check back and see how I did. Now my bill trackers, I will fill this in off camera. I'm not going to complete my bill or expense trackers right now. My debt payment, I'm not going to complete that either. Do you find that you pay your bills late? Do you use credit cards or loans to make purchases that you couldn't afford to pay cash for? Do you live paycheck to paycheck? Do you live without budgeting your money? Then do you beat yourself up by saying, I'm always broke, this always happens to me, I'll never be rich? These are all examples of negative self-talk and self-sabotage. Do you find that you procrastinate a lot, or you're indecisive often? Lacking clarity and purpose, or having external influences that distract you, are all ways of self-sabotage. So now that we can recognize some of these things that lead to self-sabotage, how do we fix it? Well, first, it starts with being self-aware and having some compassion for yourself. So you're going to want to take a look at your spending habits. Do you find that you spend impulsively? Lots of times we go to retail therapy for all kinds of emotions. Whether we're happy and we want to celebrate something, we go out to dinner and spend money. or we treat ourselves to something new because we deserve it? Or do you find when you're sad, you spend money, you eat your feelings? I find a weakness of mine is when I'm having a crappy day, I tell myself that I deserve to go through the drive-thru and treat myself, even if I'm not hungry, even when it's out of my budget, or when I know that it's unhealthy for me. I can still justify that I deserve it because I'm sad and I worked hard and I'm ready to blow my budget, because in that moment, everything justifies why I want to spend that money. But when you begin to journal these habits, it'll help you to recognize patterns that you'll now be able to pinpoint, and then you'll be able to use an alternative plan to help you deal with those emotions in a more sensible way. So instead of going through the drive-thru and spending the money, even when I'm not hungry, I tell myself, you've been saving up. You're going to feel like crap because you weren't even hungry from the get-go. You're going to start gaining weight. You're going to be out extra money. And I'm just going to feel worse. So when I tell myself this feeling will pass, and it does, then I'm actually glad that I didn't spend the money. And voila, just like that, the pattern begins to change. Use these experiences as motivation to do better and to be better. Use it as fuel to change the trajectory of your future self. Don't beat yourself up. Have compassion. Second is to identify your strengths and weaknesses and use them to your advantage. For example, a strength of mine is being able to complete tasks that I lay out on a to-do list. A weakness is that if the task is not on the to-do list and I can't cross it off, then it gets pushed back, forgotten about, and doesn't get done at all. So I use this to understand that all the things that I need to get done need to be written down. It helps free up space in my mind, and it allows me to stay on track of the assignments that I need to get done. Third is to set realistic and achievable goals. How is it that you would like your life to be? That's it. There's your goal. For me, I would like to have more income, so it allows me the freedom to have more time with my family and to be able to leave a legacy. So how do I achieve this goal of having more income? I start off small with more obtainable goals, and then the task to complete them goals. This is personal for everyone. It may mean getting a better job or starting a business or doing both. Find what's right for you and make sure you write the goals down, so this way you can look back and see what you've achieved thus far. It will help you to stay motivated and on track, and you'll be able to measure your progress. Now, if you're like me and you're starting off with $70,000 in student debt, no savings, no investments, and you're trying to get out of the poverty level of income, it can seem daunting or unrealistic, but it's not. I promise. If you stay consistent, motivated, determined, and mindful, you will achieve your goals. The time is going to pass regardless, whether it's 1 year or 5 years. The time's going to pass. So at least do something to achieve those goals rather than do nothing. Take it one day at a time, and remember, it's important to not just focus on the outcome. Life is a journey and it's meant to be enjoyed. So embrace every level of your life, where you're at now and where you want to be. It's a process, and success isn't built overnight. Remember to enjoy it, celebrate your wins, and learn from your failures. This is also why it's important to track your progress. And adjust your goals as needed along your journey. Lastly, none of this matters if you don't take action and stay committed. Remember, start small, be consistent, create a supportive environment around yourself that will encourage you, hold yourself accountable, stay motivated, and be resilient when faced with challenges, learning from your mistakes and remembering that this is a journey. Start with self-awareness, self-compassion, realistic goals, and consistent action. And this is how you'll overcome self-sabotage so you can live the life you deserve. Okay, so that completes my estimated monthly overview. As you can see, after I completed the breakdown and I subtracted my bills, the expenses, debts, sinking funds, and savings from my income, it says I'm negative $799, which means I need to come up with an additional $800. So I might just have to work longer hours so that I can come up with this money. Or if worse comes to worse, then some of these savings or sinking funds will have to go. But I'm not worried about it because typically having a negative balance is never good. I try to do a zero-based budget. Okay, so that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found this helpful. If you do like these budget sheets, I believe it's 15 of them. They are on my Etsy shop, and I am running a sale, 20% off of everything. So take a look and check it out. Again, these are 8 by 11, a regular size sheet of paper, but I taped them into a what's this called, a sketchbook notebook, because if you try to put it in a regular notebook size, the pages are too large and it overflows. Let me show you real quick. I also printed out for my smaller notebook. This is like a 5 by 8 size. This is also I got from Five Below, and these were 5 by 7 size. So they're a little bit smaller than the page, and you can see the difference in size. And I just decided not to use this. I updated these a little bit differently, and I like the way that it came out a little better. So I'm just gonna save this for another time. The link will be down below in my description box, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.